What's up, Magnetic Men Club? We are back here on another Friday with you. Sorry we missed last week. We actually had some stuff going on with our internet and stuff here that's all sorted now. But today we wanted to cover one of the videos that we actually posted this last 2 weeks where we were talking about the importance of getting jacked, like why getting jacked will change your life, why people look at you differently when you get jacked, why they treat you differently, why you get more respect, not only from other people, but from yourself when you actually take the time to develop that discipline, develop that consistency, start getting to the gym, and start figuring out those workouts for yourself. Getting jacked will change your life. I'm Chase. This is my good friend Jared here.
What's up, kids? Just got in town myself here, so I flew from the from the airport into the hotel here. So sorry, I'm a little out of breath, but we're good to go. This actual video that we posted, we got pretty good engagement on it, um, which was good. Whole point of our YouTube videos is to give you guys free information and you guys to engage on it and ask questions and stuff. So um, when we coach guys that are struggling in dating, the very first thing we do is try to get them into another coach that does more personal fitness, more diet. Maybe they're a little bit overweight. Jason and I don't do that. I've had people ask me if I do that. That's just not the type of coaching him and I really want to get involved in. But we do that for a reason because when you work out, I'm going to say the PC thing first. It's not true. When you work out, the idea is you want to work out for you to feel your best. If you're a guy, the only reason why you work out is to get women. I don't give a shit what guys say. That's the truth. That's the whole reason why we first start going out to lift the weights to get physically fit is so that women notice us. And then it turns into something else. Then it turns into, wow, I do have this internal fortitude within me. I do develop discipline. I develop patience. I develop hopefully a better eating regimen. Because you see a lot of guys go to the gym, their body composition doesn't change at all. And because they'll go to the gym for 3 hours a day, talk 2.5 hours in the gym, and then they go out with their buddies and drink beer and eat chicken wings. Well, yeah, you're going to the gym, you're taking off that box, but you're not really changing your body composition. So
Right.
one of the things we do is we get them hooked up with a personal trainer in their area or an online trainer that we have. By his name is Jared, by the way, as well, and he takes over that route. And we want them to start getting some wins. They want them to start either getting that fat off them or getting that muscle put on them. And the whole reason for that is to get noticed. That's the very first reason. I'm not 6'1", 230 pounds for a reason. Like I purposely have put this muscle on for a reason. It wasn't for me. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't nothing to do with me. I would much rather be a much smaller, but you don't get noticed that way. You don't get as many options being smaller. People overlook you. People don't take you as serious um, when you're a little bit smaller. So that's one of the first things that we do is we get them on a program, get them into the gym, start creating those wins, and then it turns into something else. Hopefully, what do you think about that?
So I think the biggest thing for me, like even when I first started out, is like don't go in there expecting to be jacked week one. Like don't go in there expecting to like be seeing the results week one, week two, looking in the mirror, like all the little muscles, all the little developments and stuff too. I mean, it's cool and you start feeling good, but it can demotivate you really fast because like you're gonna get to a point where you kind of plateau and it's a big time science. This is why we don't really coach on it because it would take all of our time and our efforts to figure out how to coach on it. So we just kind of defer to the experts on this. We're really more about the mindset, social constructs, breaking that kind of stuff down for you guys. But the biggest thing is understanding that it's a science, man. Like it's a big time science. And like, you got to focus on it one part at a time. Like you're not going to get the whole nutrition aspect right out the gates. You're not going to get the whole working out regimen, all that stuff down out the gates. You're not going to know exactly what supplements work for you, which ones don't. And here's the thing too: a lot of guys think that they have to go get on testosterone supplements. A lot of them will think they got to just pack on all that protein. A lot of them think they got to get the creatine, the pre-workout, all this different stuff. And I mean, if you walk into GNC, they'll gladly sell it to you. It doesn't really. That's all you need. 10 other things on top of that too. But it's really not about that. It's all about the consistency. Like, all you have to do is just get to the gym. Like week 1, just get there for 20 minutes every single day. Just get there for at least 3 days. Week 1, get there for 20 minutes. Just start to build the habit out. Once you start focusing on it that way, you're not really forcing yourself one way or the other. And this is why I wouldn't recommend that you start with a personal trainer out the gates, or maybe start with somebody who's going to kind of ramp you up. Because the biggest thing about coaching, like the difference is between learning and coaching, right? Like if you're learning, I'm giving you courses, you're going through, you're consuming material. If I'm coaching you, I'm on your ass. I'm here every single day. Hey, man, did you get to the gym today? Why not? What's going on? Are you going to go later? That's the stuff that keeps you consistent. So that's how you got to be with this in your mind when you get it. Like you're just trying to create consistency. I'm not trying to get the best chest workout, best arm workout, I'm not trying to work out muscle groups specifically. I'm not really trying to get the form just yet. I'm just trying to get to the gym, lift a couple dumbbells, whatever starts to create that consistency. By week 3, I'm working more on form. I'm trying to do more reps, all that kind of stuff. By week 4, I'm trying to raise that weight up a little bit. By week 6 is when I'm trying to like see results. And I'm like, okay, what can I do to get better results? Now, how can I adapt what I'm doing to get better results? How can I add? How can I do circuits? What exercises can I learn that are going to get me better results? Because you're going to plateau, and then you're going to have to change it up. And then you're going to plateau, and then you're going to have to change it up. And you're going to plateau, and you're going to have to change it up. And that's just kind of how it goes. So just take it one step at a time and just build that consistency first off.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And like everything that we teach and talk, I mean, nothing is overnight. And I just want to back up for a minute because when we use jacked on YouTube, it's clickbait, obviously. I'm not saying you need to look like Lou Ferrigno or Arnold Schwarzenegger or Ron Coleman. As a matter of fact, guys who look that big is actually a turnoff for women. There's a very small subset of women that actually like that. So I wouldn't suggest being that big. There's a lot of health problems that go with that. I'm using the word jacked as being in the best physical shape you can based on your genetic makeup. Look at, I'm an ectomorph. I put in my video, I was about 6'1", almost 6'1", 135 pounds when I was 18 going into the military. Still 6'1", but I'm like 230 right now. But I'm your classic ectomorph. I have broad shoulders and a thin waist. And an ectomorph, there's different body styles. I'm just explaining mine. It's very hard for us to put on weight because we burn it so fast. To give a context, who's that swimmer? The most
Phelps, Michael
Phelps.
Phelps. Yeah.
He's your classic ectomorph. He's much bigger. He's like 6'4", I believe, and he's got much more muscle, but he has broad shoulders. Think about that swimmer's physique. I read a poll is most women actually find that type of physique where you're not overly muscular, but you have muscle tone and you're not emaciated. That sweet spot. So think about that kind of Michael Phelps, maybe a little bit bigger. That's what really women find most attractive. So when I say Jack, I don't want you guys to think, oh, great, now I got to go and shoot up all these steroids and look like Ron Coleman. No, you want to,
Good luck looking like Ron Coleman, man.
yeah, good luck. Yeah,
I don't think a diesel truck could beat that guy.
no. But there are people, based on your genetic makeup, maybe, you're a mesomorph. Maybe you're big bone to begin with. Maybe you're just a big guy and you get to the gym and you end up cutting back a little bit of that fat, but you're still a big guy. Well, then that's your genetic makeup. You really can't change that, but you can be the best version of that possible. That's what I'm getting at. And so when you get to the gym and you're starting to understand this, I did it 19, 20, something like that is when I kind of got serious. I'm 49 right now. So I've been in the gym for a while and I've been more consistent over the years than not. So just by being, as Chase said, consistent, your body will change over time. It kind of has to. You're forcing it to once you understand what you're doing. So for a while, you're not going to know what you're doing. That's why I do suggest find a personal trainer, find somebody who's been certified in it. And then really there's no magic. I go to the gym all the time. Just walking around, people notice me. And you get guys, like, dude, your arms are huge. What do you do? And I think it's funny. It's like I lift shit up and I put it down. There's no magic thing here. I've been doing this longer than you've probably been alive. So I have time on my side. And that's the biggest thing I want to do. It's not going to happen overnight. You don't want it to happen overnight. But when it does start to happen and you just start getting positive responses from women and probably negative responses from guys, which is a good thing. There's always going to be douchebag guys out there who will laugh at you like, he's too big, little dick, blah, blah, blah. They're just jealous. Don't worry about them. But once you
For
start getting
real.
these kinds of responses, now you know you're doing something right. And here's the interesting thing. I bring this up all the time. 80% of all Americans over 18, or actually, I'm sorry, I'm bringing it down, 16 and over, are either overweight or obese in America. That means there's only 20% of the population that's healthy, that's not considered obese, not considered overweight. Being jacked, if you want to call it that, being the best physical shape you can, throws you in that 20%. And even if you're ugly as all hell, because I know a lot of dudes are ugly as shit, but they got a great physique on them. They 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 can now get some women they probably couldn't get if they didn't have at least that going for them. Now they have great personalities, yeah, yeah, yeah. What I'm saying is the physique got them the date. The physique got them into the door. And so maybe you aren't the best looking guy. Maybe you need to brush up on your social skills. Maybe you're young watching this. You're like, what the hell? Why am I invisible? Well, you can do something about it by starting to get physically fit. And once you can do that, and once you start taking up space, because I said in my video, life is all about space for men, not specifically for women, but it's a struggle for space. And if you can understand that, men, we fight wars for land, which is space. Think of somebody like Mr. Beast. He's not huge, but he demands massive social proof. That's space. His influence is effing huge. Once you take up space, whether it's physically or somebody like Mr. Beast, you're basically telling people you're more superior to them in some way. And by just being a bigger guy, looking at women who are looking at you or other guys who are smaller than you, you're already subcommunicating that I'm superior than you.
And so yeah, like you mentioned the insecurities and stuff that other
Yeah,
men will they'll look at you and they'll go, oh, he's got a little dick. That's why he's got to be that big. That's
women
why
do
he's
it
got to
too.
be jacked. That kind of stuff too. And that's their insecurity talking. That has
Yeah,
nothing to do with you. That's just them being insecure and looking at you and being like, it can't be that easy. If he did it, I could do it too. I just don't want to because and so they'll start sitting there trying to validate it in their head, right? So they don't
yeah,
have to put in the work. So they can be justified in their decisions, right? So here's the thing. You respect yourself more because you know that you've been more disciplined. You know you've put in more work than that person, but they also know it too. That other person knows it as well. They may not admit it, they may not say it outright, but they know it. They know for a fact that they didn't put in as much work as you and that you're probably better than they are. That's immediately how it associates in their head. We are beings that walk around making instant judgments on everything. And we have to. We have no choice. There's so much going on around us. There's so much to consume. There's so much information hitting our brain all the time that we can't take time to analyze each and every single person, each and every single situation. And so most of the time, we just take a quick glance, make our opinion, and move on.
sure.
And when we look at somebody and they're fat, they're slouched, okay, that person's not healthy. They're not going to help me do anything. We see somebody else who's jacked and they're over there, they're charismatic, they're talking to people. Like, I need to talk to that person. He stands out.
Sure.
You just
Absolutely.
notice them more. And it's the same thing with women too. Like they just don't notice you. And so once they notice you, one of two things is going to happen. Either they like you and they look past your flaws, or they don't like you and they exaggerate your flaws.
Absolutely. And we're all shallow. I mean, to a degree, humans are shallow. We don't mean to be, we just are. So like Chase said, when we're looking at somebody, we're making a value judgment on them based on seconds. Now, women are much better at this when it comes to dating. Women within 3 seconds will know if they're going to ever sleep with you or not. Usually it's 3 to 5 seconds. It's very quick for them. Men, we'll screw a hole in the tree if we have to. Like we're equal opportunity on that.
We'll fall back as far as we need to until we
Yeah,
get
we'll
results.
we'll do whatever we got to do. We'll hang out at 2:30 in the morning when the club's about to end, and just what's there.
I'm
But
not
my
going
point
home.
is, but that's a form of shallow too. Like we'll just bang anything. We're not that picky. As you get older, maybe you become one. But the point is, we're all making value judgments, and so part of our program, part of what we try to do is, wouldn't it make more sense for people to make a value judgment on you on something that you can actually control? Now, this is if you want to. Look at if you might be a smart like a Elon Musk. I mean, do you think that guy needs to get jacked? No. I mean, the dude's got more money than anybody. But again, it goes back to taking up space. He's jacked in a whole other realm that I could never get to. Chase and I could never get to. That's still part of being jacked. We're talking about the physical part, but there is a whole other part. Bill Gates, he's kind of a dork, but he's jacked on the money side. Like, he can pretty much get any girl he probably wants based on just his money. We're bringing it down to what can we do? Yes, of course, we want you to work on your money. We want you to work on your finances. We want you to work on your social dynamic skills. This is power dominance. What we're talking about is really the power and the dominant side of social dynamics. And so the question is, wouldn't it make more sense to be your best genetic makeup possible by getting to the gym, eating right, drinking your water, doing more things consistent than not? I'm not saying you got to go to the gym every day for 4 hours a day. I don't do that, guys. Like that,
Right.
there's a certain point where it becomes too much. I don't
True.
subscribe to that ideology, but being consistent, doing it more times than not, eventually will get you to that finish line where you are your best genetic self. You're you put into the work. It shows you're consistent to a degree. It shows that you take your health and you're responsible for yourself. If you're a big fat guy, you're really not responsible even for yourself because you don't even have the fortitude to stop taking a Twinkie and shove it in your fucking mouth. Now, I know I'm very harsh, guys, when I say this, but that something as basic as that, you can't even do that. What if you flip the script and says, you know what, I can get to the gym. I can do it for 20 minutes a day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you just start small. That's something we can help you guys with goal setting, but starting small. And eventually you start getting those wins. And this is what we're talking about. You want to get those people to make value judgments on you in a more perceived, more positive way than, oh, there's a fat guy. He can't help me. He's probably dumb. I know a lot of fat guys that make a lot of money and they're very smart, but people perceive them as dumb and they're like, the guy's there. I'll tell you a funny story.
They're not
I
disciplined.
used to I used to work for this guy. He was a much older guy, and like he was in his 80s and he owned like 10,000 apartment units. And he was small, but again, he had that power on the other side with his money and his influence and stuff. And the dude ate um, those powdered donuts, and he's always touching his junk. So when he would eat a powdered donut, he's always adjusting himself. And he'd have powder down there, and he'd stand up and talk to people and meet people, and people are like, "Oh my god, this is just kind of gross, right?" But he was an older guy, and they kind of gave him a pass. They're like, "Listen, I think at that time he's like in his late 70s. The point is, they make value judgments on him. If they didn't know who he was and they just saw some old guy scratching on his junk with powdered donut, they think this guy's a freaking loser. Like, oh my God, how sad.
And see, you might
So,
not outright think that though. Like you might look at that and like not outright think like, oh, like because I would look at somebody like that and like feel bad. Like I actually feel pity in me. Like oh my god, that poor guy. Like he doesn't even know.
yeah,
And that's how a lot of people are going to look at you. Like you can't control that. Like people are just going to look at you and go, "Oh, that poor guy," and they're going to move on with their day. And like that doesn't like it's not that they think that you're stupid or they're judging you or anything like that. It's just that's just the quick value judgment that people make when they move on. Like you've done it in the past. I guarantee you've done it. You just didn't notice or you just weren't aware of it. But every time you're looking at anybody anywhere, if you look up and somebody's giving a presentation to you and they got powder all over and they're fat, you're like immediately you feel bad for this guy. You're like, oh man, this poor guy, like he needs help for sure. And that's just kind of how it goes. It's just the way our minds kind of associate things. Like I've had a lot of guys reach out to me and ask me where to start, like where to start with the self-development, where like the one thing they could do to really get this stuff going. And it's going to the gym, like through and through. Like there's no question. Start with the gym because it puts everything else on easy mode. You start to develop this discipline, you start to develop this proficiency, you start to develop a focus that you didn't have before. Your brain was all over the place. But on top of that too, you'll notice that certain foods and drinks and stuff like that make you feel like shit as soon as you take them in. They affect the workout. So you start changing what you eat and drink to support the workout, to support the lifestyle. The problem is if you didn't have a path and purpose coming into this, you didn't have hobbies or anything that kind of make up your personality into what it is, this can quickly become your personality. Like this can quickly become your entire lifestyle and like everything you do and everything you consume because you didn't have any of that path and purpose, any of that hobbies, all that stuff going on before. And so like I said, I mean, you got to be careful with it because if this becomes your personality, you do quickly become like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You get that big body, but you want to start looking for the steroids. You start coming down to Mexico. I can't tell you how many friends I have come to Mexico just for steroids, just to stay with me here, come here, get the steroids, take off back. So many. It's ridiculous, man, because they're so much cheaper here. And it's like, I've never done that. I live here. I've never taken steroids. I just see no reason to. It's not what I'm trying to do. But it comes down to your goals. You got to decide that.
Again, you're looking to become your best genetic.
Exactly. I want energy, man. Yeah, I'm about energy. I'm about optimization. I just want to be cut and look good. I'm not looking to be a bodybuilder.
Right. And so that's what you guys have to obviously determine for yourself. What is it that the goal is? What is it that what you want? And then forget everything else. Forget about what social media says. Oh, you got to get, this big to get the women. No, what you're just trying to do is become your best self. And then like attracts like. So this is why I always say go to the gym first. There's no better pickup place in the world than the gym. Now, I'm not saying you pick up women in the gym. You notice them in the gym, and then they notice you, and you already have commonality. You're like, okay, well, I don't know the guy, but he looks good. He's at the gym. You're thinking, well, she's gorgeous. She's got a nice body. She's at the gym. You already have something in common. If you're at the bar eating chicken wings and guzzling down a 6-pack of beer, she'll never notice you because you're not there. You're going to get the barflies. You're going to get the girls who've been passed around like Pez.
Exactly. Every relationship too, though. Not even just the girls. Your friends and the people that you pull away. People who are working on themselves are at the gym. People who are not working on themselves are at the bar. Like you're going to meet people at the bar who have no desire to work on themselves, who have no desire to move forward in life, who have no desire to build businesses, be any better. They just don't. They're there to blow off steam. That's what they're there for. Other people who go to the gym, dude, they're working on themselves. Most of the time, if you go talk to 10 people at the gym, I guarantee you're going to talk to 3-4 business owners who could work with you, who could get you somewhere. And that's the biggest thing is understanding that you're going to meet a different caliber of people at the gym versus the bar, and women too, obviously, just like you mentioned. Yeah.
So that going to the gym in and of itself is more of a social, it is a social setting. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't suggest go be a weirdo and start picking up girls, but understand that could be a good foundation for it. And also you got to understand is, we talked about space. So because life is it's literally a war of space. The bigger you are, the more space you take up, you're already perceived as better. So this is like when I tell guys, if you're going out with the girl and stuff, one of the things is you want to take up as much space as possible. You want to kind of get her to come into your orbit. One of the ways to do it is kind of like sit at a bar table, not really a table where she's too far away from you, and you kind of open your legs. You're trying to expand out. It's the whole reason why I say it, not to be a weirdo and show your junk, is you're trying to expand out. You're trying to expand your space into her orbit, and then she feels more comfortable coming into yours. But it's the same way with being as big as you want to be or big as you can be. You're taking up more space. You're perceived as being more superior. Other guys that are smaller than you, there's two mindsets. One is you're going to have the jealous guys, and you're going to have the weirdos. They don't they don't matter. What you're also going to get is, even if they're smaller than you, by definition, on this subject, they are alpha men, because alpha men still recognize there's a hierarchy with even in the alpha man. If I'm stuck on a desert island and I'm the biggest guy, but there's a guy who was on SEAL Team 6, but he's a little smaller than me. Who's alpha? Who's more? Who in that pecking order are we going to follow? Well, the dude who knows how to navigate at night, who can fucking make a fire out of rain, like that's the dude, right? So even if you're bigger, other guys who want to befriend you, they're not beta. They understand, okay, if I'm around this guy, he can help me in the gym, but by default, he probably has access to women. If I'm his friend, I have access to women. This is the mentality that a normal person would have. Like, why wouldn't I become his friend? He's done the work. He's probably has women, or women look at him. If I'm in his orbit, other women will see me. This is the way to do it. So it's not a beta move, because I've heard guys say, "Oh, you're just trying to be his friend. That's beta, bitch." No, that's actually very alpha. That's a smart way, because you want to align yourself with people who are doing better than you. If you keep aligning yourself with the people who are on your level or below, you can't grow. I want to surround myself with people like Chase and this other guy, Jared, and other people who are doing better than me in some area of their life, because then it forces me to do better. But if you're always in the crowd, if you're always with the sheep, you can never be a wolf. You're still going to be a sheep. You might think you're a wolf, but you're still a sheep. And so this is what I tell guys when they first call me. My girlfriend broke up with me. I just had another guy, girlfriend of 4 years. Go to the gym. Get to the gym. Go to the gym. Got to start getting this energy out. Don't be drinking. Don't do all this shit. The point is getting to the gym, getting your best physical self better, or the best physical shape you can be, does 1,000% more than any therapist can fucking do for you. Okay.
That's facts. I think that that's a really underrated part of this. Like people would think that the gym is maybe all physical, but I don't think a lot of people realize that it's a lot more mental actually.
It's
Like
way
I
more
said, it
mental.
improves your focus. It like allows you to blow off stress in a way that you can't blow off stress. Like it's a complete replacement for drugs and the bar and alcohol or whatever vice that you might have. Like dude, the gym will replace it. Like I promise you, if you start going to the gym, you start doing your pre-workout, you start doing the creatine, all that kind of stuff, the drugs are going to fall off. You'll start worrying about what they put into your pre-workout. Honestly, like you'll go from sniffing drugs off the street, not knowing exactly what it is, to straight up worrying about one little chemical in your pre-workout. It's a complete mindset shift, and it's a complete lifestyle shift too, because like this is the first step to really shifting your lifestyle, because it puts everything else on easy mode. Like I said, work is going to be easier, girls are going to be easier, social activities are going to be easier, knowing what to do after work instead of going to the bar, that'll be easier to figure out, because you'll be able to actually have energy to go hiking, try other hobbies, go fishing. Maybe you want to start doing woodworking. You'll have the focus and energy and time for that. this bleeds into every other aspect of your life. And this is why I always tell people, you start here.
Start getting to the gym. And also, if we want to talk specifically about dating, we do a lot of videos on female hypergamy. Well, this is in and of itself. Men are hypergamous too, but let's not get off topic. Female hypergamy, women always want to find a man at her level, but really above. Okay, women want to look up to their man. So if you're at the gym and your girl is physically fit, she wants you to be more physically fit than her, at least at the level, but a little bit more physically fit. She makes 100 grand. She probably wants you to make 130 to 150 grand. Okay. But this is how female hypergamy works. They're always looking for their best option. So wouldn't it make sense to become her best option? And if you can become her best option, now you have what's called staying power. Like you can tell her, yeah, go find somebody else. I know you can't. I'm your best option because I still do the work. You're not saying it arrogantly. You're just saying, like, listen, like I've done the work. Like, good luck. Maybe, I doubt it. Kind of keeps them grounded too, because hypergamy by nature, they're always going to keep looking. So if you're the best option, if you're the biggest or most physically fit guy, let's use that because there's always going to be guys bigger than you. But you have to remember, for the girl that you're dating, it still comes down to attraction. So she has to be attracted to the guy. He can look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but if he's ugly and she's not attracted to him, then his body doesn't matter. So I need you to understand, female hypergamy, it's always looking for that bigger, better deal. So if you're the best deal you can be for her, and it kind of knocks that out, kind of keeps her grounded, kind of keeps her on her toes, keeps you on your toes too, because you're still doing the work. So getting as physically fit as you can in all realms of your body does more. And I touched on it, but I want to go a little bit further into it. A lot of people go into therapy. I am so tired of people like, oh, we just got to go to therapy and talk about this. The easiest way to heal a wound is stop fucking picking it. So if you just broke up with a girl and it's not working out and you've done everything you can, stop. Therapy isn't going to help you. It's retooling yourself. Maybe the reason why you broke up is, like I said, maybe you're overweight, maybe you've been drinking a little bit too much, maybe you're too needy, maybe you've been this and that, or not enough of this. Start by getting back to basics. Start by, we say this all the time, but getting to the gym, that's basics. Lifting heavy shit, picking heavy shit up and putting heavy shit down. That's as basic as you can get. And it's a war between you and the weight. Once you can understand this and really appreciate that level of discipline, that level of skill, that level of patience, everything else in your life kind of bleeds into that. Like you're more patient with your girlfriend, you're more understanding. Like, listen, I know a great relationship isn't, once that magic goes away, that 6 months, then the work comes. Like, if you can really understand that, you understand, well, oh, I'm just bored with her. It's not bored. You're not bored with her, dude. Like, this is how
See,
shit
that's the thing too.
works.
Like what we help a lot of people with.
Yeah.
So we help a lot of people get their first dates. Like we help a lot of guys like figure out the approach, figure out like the whole social dynamics, hypergamy, all that stuff. These are all things that we talk about in our program. But that's only going to get you so far. Like a lot of this stuff comes down to the fact that like if you're trying to get a girl, it's going to be a lot easier if you look good. Like she's going to judge a book by the cover. We just do as humans. We tell people not to judge a book by the cover because we as humans naturally judge a book by its cover. Like we just do. We have to backtrack it and change it if we don't. We just automatically have a judgment for every single thing we see. It just happens. It's just the way our brain works. Don't feel bad about it. Like it's just that's the conclusion you got. That's cool.
Yeah.
Whatever conclusion you have about yourself is probably a pretty similar conclusion to what everybody else has. That's why we become self-conscious and not self-confident. Somebody who's self-confident carries himself better than somebody who's self-conscious. Somebody who's self-conscious doesn't believe he's worthy, doesn't think he's going to get the girl, doesn't even see the point in trying. Somebody who's self-confident is going to look at it. I can do anything. I just want to do what I want to do. It doesn't matter what I want to do. I can do whatever the hell I want to do.
Yeah.
and you act differently, you carry yourself differently. And so here's the thing: when you're trying to get a girl and you come into it with self-confidence, the gym's going to create self-confidence right away. And then there's when you start to get that stamina back. Let's say you're already in a relationship, you want to improve your relationship. Well, you're going to start to get a lot more stamina. You start to build up your testosterone, all that stuff too. You're going to build up a lot more resilience. You're going to start to look better, and she's going to look at you and go, "Oh my God, that's the man. That's who I wanted." Your relationship's going to get better. You're going to get more girls. And even if you're going through a divorce and the relationship is ending, well, yeah, you got to look good because you got to get back into the dating market. So no matter where you're at in the relationship, this will help you for sure. Like this is the number one thing that you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if, like my girlfriend, she's 10 years younger than me. She obviously works out. Like attracts like. So would she date me if I was a fat ass? I already know the answer. No. Would I date her? She already knows the answer. No. And so if you're not in a relationship right now and you want to be, that's why I said getting into the gym, creating that commonality. Maybe you do meet a girl at the gym. That's even better. Then you guys can start working out together, whatever. You can start forming a relationship based on that one common goal that you guys had is to live as healthy a lifestyle as you can. That is a great foundation right there for any relationship. Much better than I met a girl at a bar and I banged her that night. Oh, okay, that's what kind of foundation is that? So the point is, it's not so much about getting jacked as it is about everything else that happens on your road to getting jacked. See, it's never the goal. Okay, climbing the mountain isn't the goal. It's all the little steps it took you to get to the mountain. And you don't really understand that until
Right.
you're at the top of the mountain. You don't understand, like, oh my God, how many summits did I have to get to this top? So when you're jacked, whatever term you want to use from that, it's what it took you to get there, all those steps along the way.
Well, the second you get
That's
into the
the
gym, like
mindset.
the second that it happens, you start changing. Your life starts changing. Your lifestyle is going to be different. The old you is dying, the new you is reborn. The second you start lifting those weights,
Yeah.
it takes consistency. Obviously, one time is not enough, 2 times is not enough, 1 week is not enough, 1 month is not enough, 1 year is not enough. You will look different after 1 year, though, that's for sure. You'll look different after 3 months. You'll look different after 6 weeks. You won't look different after week one. You won't look different after week two. Week three, week four, not so much. By week six, by week eight, by week 12, it's drastically different. It starts to compound quite a bit. But the thing is, you got to get started. And so the whole point is like, okay, why do you get more respect as somebody who is jacked? And the reason being is everybody out there knows it is freaking hard to do. If you're a skinny guy, you know for a fact how hard that is. You know for a fact that you can go to the gym for 12 weeks, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're still going to be skinny at the end of the 12 weeks. And that's just the reality of it. It doesn't mean that you need to shut you down. This is why you want to understand what body type you want to have. If you're really big already and you want to kind of slim down, you're going to be doing different workouts than the skinny guy who's trying to bulk up. That guy's going to avoid cardio entirely. He needs to eat like a freaking boss, man. Like he needs to eat 6,000 calories every single day, man. And you're talking good food, not McDonald's, none of that crap. Like it is hard to eat 6,000 quality calories every day. It's not hard to eat 6,000 calories at McDonald's, but you're going to feel like shit after it.
Sure.
If you go to the store and you get good meats, you get good veggies, all that kind of stuff too, that's completely outside of this, but it will lead to that. You trying to be scientific with this stuff because you'll start to realize anytime you don't do that, you feel like shit. Like immediately, as soon as you have a hamburger, you feel like shit. As soon as you have a donut, you feel like shit. And you're like, I don't want to do that anymore. So you stay on track. And it leads to a lifestyle where you just stay on track. And it gets easier and easier and easier and easier as it goes. Because the life that you used to live is no longer feasible. You can't eat like crap anymore. You can't sit on your ass all day anymore. You just don't feel good about it.
Right, right. And then the other part I wanted to bring up too, we're talking about getting jacked, but it's also power dynamics. Now, my school platform that Chase and I created, we'll link it down below. We have all series on all these different dynamics, but power dynamics is just that. Think about it's power. It's an exchange of power. And the only hack you can do, the bigger you are, the more power is perceived you have. I know a lot of big dudes who can't fight for nothing. But if they're walking down a street at midnight and there's a group of punks walking to him, and then there's another guy who's not as big on the other side, who do you think they're going to mess with first? The smaller guy, because it's perceived this big guy can probably fight or take care of himself. Now, that's not the case. That's really not the case in most of the really big guys. They're just big. Think about like an MMA fighter, 145-pound like featherweight. Those guys will F you up. They'll mess up probably the 200-pound gorilla all day long. But if they're both sitting in a bar and nobody knows who each other are, the power perceived is going to be that 200-pound gorilla. This is the hack you guys can hack into literally within, say, 6 months of getting into the gym. You can increase your own power dynamic by just getting bigger. That's really the only hack you can do. Now, then you have social dynamics because the other part of this is okay, like Chase says, once you get a girl, now you have to keep her. Now, it's great that you might just be big, but what if you're socially retarded? What if you can't hold a conversation? What if all you talk about is going to the gym? What if you have a crappy job or you have no goals and really any ambition but the gym? You're going to lose her really fast because what kept her got you into the door with her was your body. But now you got to work on your social dynamics, your social skills. That's all backdoor stuff. That's harder to deal with. That's harder to learn. But getting to the gym, you don't need a trainer if you don't want one. Lift shit up, put it down. Lift it up, put it down. Eventually, you'll have your power hack. Eventually, the laws of power dynamics will tip into your favor. They have to. And then you also have to remember, like Chase said, most people are perceived. They look at a bigger guy. Most people don't want to do the work. So you automatically get that kudos like, okay, this dude, he's not the biggest guy, but I can tell he goes to the gym. I can tell he puts in some effort. Where you have most of these guys, and I see it all the time because I travel a lot. They're half my age. They have a beer belly. They're thin. They're emaciated, but a gut. They don't take care of themselves. Here I am at 49. I still get looks from women half my age. And it feels amazing. I'm like, oh, fuck, man, she's pretty hot too. My point is, you guys can do this too. It's a very simple hack, but it's a hard hack to do. Simple in your mind. Now you got to physically go and do it. What are your thoughts on that?
Like I said, I mean, I think with the social dynamics, that's a really good point that you made there too. Like the thing is like when you get into a relationship, yeah, it's going to help you get in the door, but it's not really going to help you hold the conversation. It's not really going to help you with the hypergamous nature, that kind of stuff. It's not really going to help you with the shit testing, all that stuff that the women are going to do on that side too. Like there's all kinds of things that women are going to come at you with that you got to handle in a certain way because that's all social dynamics. This makes it easier, like it does, because they'll look past a lot of what you do and don't do just because you're physically fit, just because you look really good, just because you're charismatic, that kind of stuff
Sure.
too. And the biggest thing too is like understanding, like even in the animal kingdom, like animals try to make themselves look bigger to make themselves more intimidating, right? Like dogs, bears, peacocks, even they'll make themselves bigger to try and intimidate whatever's around them. And so that's what happens with men too. As you get bigger, you become more intimidating naturally. You might be the sweetest freaking teddy bear on earth, but everybody is intimidated by you out the gates because you come in, maybe you got a resting bitch face and you're huge. Immediately people are going to be like, I don't want to mess with that guy. I don't even want to talk to that guy. There's no way.
Right. No, and that's it. Like you use peacocking. That's actually a PUA term, and it's for you go out. The old pickup artist used to say when you go out, dress better than your environment. And I always talk about that too. It's kind of peacock. Like if you're at a bar, go and put on a suit. even if you're not the biggest guy, you're the only guy in the room with a suit on, you will garner attention from people because they're like, what the fuck? The dude's wearing a suit. That's called peacocking. And it does one of two things. Being big, you're peacocking. So it's telling women, okay, he's big, but it also tells the predators, because you will get guys who might even be bigger than you. You will get guys that may be drinking a little bit, and there's three of them and one of you. They will shit test you. These are the weak men I talk about. They're not the alpha guys that want to just really be your friend because they recognize that you've done the work. Because you're peacocking, because you're bigger, also remember you're going to take shit from other people. It happens all the time where when I'm hanging out, I get these douchebags, and there was a time I was in Skinny Atlas with my girlfriend, and one douchebag, and I could have snapped his neck, but he had like five of his friends, and I'm not stupid. I know how to do math, and he started talking to her, and I'm outgunned. I mean, I'm not going to die over this stupid thing. The point is, if I wasn't as big as I was, and I was just kind of in that sheep thing where I look like everybody else, they probably would have messed with her first and me. They probably wouldn't even noticed us. So you also have to remember that anytime you're going to improve yourself in any way, you're going to get shit from a lot of people. So you need to be prepared for that. This is why the very basic stuff you guys can do is go to our school program, learn the basics of social dynamics, learn the second half of power dynamics. And the second half is how to actually deal with somebody doing power plays on you. Could be a boss, could be a girlfriend, it could be another guy, it could be a family member. You have to understand what the power play is. You have to understand the rules so that you can beat the person at his own game. That's the second half of power dynamics. But the very first hack that we talked about this whole video is just get your best self. Sure. Once you do that, you've already hacked the system on that side. So I just kind of want to bring that up because people might think, oh, yeah, I'm really big. And, some douchebag's going to come fuck with you and maybe fuck with your girlfriend on a first date. And if you don't know how to handle that, you might lose her over this douchebag. It happens.
And that's social dynamics. Like that's all going to
That's
come down.
social.
Like nobody can tell you. There's no specific script. You don't have to fight in a lot of cases. And every situation is different. Every single person is different. But you got to know how to adapt yourself. You got to know how to carry yourself. You got to know the frame dynamics, the laws of power, all that kind of stuff. Laws of seduction, the art of seduction, all that kind of stuff too. This all plays into it because it's all psychology. That's all social dynamics are. Like between men, between women. Even when you're big, like guys see danger, girls see safety. And so that's really what it comes down to is like that's what you're putting out there when you get big. And like I said, it's just like an easy button. As soon as you get big, you're on easy mode. Like life is so much easier for you in a lot of ways. You get more respect, you get a lot more attention, you get better people, you're around better people because you're in the gym. Everybody in there is working on themselves. You're not at the bar anymore, right? And so your whole life starts to shift and change with this. And the thing is, too, is I saw something going around, like, I think you all saw this probably like 5-10 years ago, where everybody's saying, like, oh, women are into dad bods now. Like, women love dad bods and all that kind of stuff, too, which is one of the most bullshit things I've ever seen in my life. That's my personal opinion. I think that's bullshit. There is not a woman out there who loves a dad bod. If she has a guy with a dad bod, she's settling for him. That's the only, insecure women go after dad bods. Only insecure women who don't think they could do better want a guy with a dad bod. Like a lot of them will tell you that, but it's just insecurity. I'm going to tell you that right now. Nobody likes a dad bod, man. There's no way. You don't brainwash yourself with that. Don't go like, oh, okay, I got a dad bod. Women find that sexy. Dude, if you want a woman, you got to get jacked. You're going to beat out the guy with the dad bod every single day.
Yeah. Oh, you will, but devil's advocate, there are a subsect of women that say and will go along with the dad bod because they can't get the jack bod.
Exactly.
And so you also have that where they'll say it because they're not taking care of themselves. Maybe they're,
It's
not as,
insecurity. Yep.
yeah. So they'll peacock themselves out and be like, oh no, I love the dad bod. And here comes Eric, the fat fuck on social media. Hey, you like this? Yeah. And so yeah, I mean, there's a win there, but if you're trying to be your best self, then you deserve the best possible woman, or if you're a woman watching this, the best possible man you can get. And it always starts, like Chase said in the beginning, it literally starts at the gym. If you can't even take care of yourself, if you can't watch, I'm not saying you got to be perfect. Like, I use Twinkie. I don't haven't had a Twinkie in years, but I love the Reese's sticks. Not so much the Reese's peanut butter cups, but the Reese's sticks. I don't know. I effing love them. And I don't feel guilty when I have the 4 pack because I'm not eating two, I'm gonna eat four. I don't feel guilty about it because I have still done the work and I still work out. The point is, don't make this such a religion like, oh my God, this is what I have to do. If you're a little bit overweight, you should take it a little bit more seriously because if this is your health. But once you get to a certain level, lay off yourself, have some grace to yourself. If you want to have some chicken wings, it's fine. Like, I know people talk about optimizing their entire life. I'm going to do a video on how dumb of an idea most of this optimizing stuff is. But the point is, become the best self, but then enjoy your life
That
because you
that
don't know.
optimizing stuff will ruin your
Oh,
life real
it
quick.
will.
Like if you get too far into it or you take
Yeah,
it too seriously, like it can ruin your life. It can ruin
it
all the
does.
fun you have in life. It can like make people not want to be around you because you're always like criticizing and talking to people. This is something you got to be careful with too. Like once you start working on yourself, try not to get arrogant with it. Like just try
Yeah,
to like,
just
okay, you're working on yourself. Cool, kudos to you. Don't go around pointing at everybody else like you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Like because that just makes people hate you. This
right.
is where the social dynamic stuff comes in because
That's where
it's
social
really easy
dynamics.
to fall into that. It really is.
It is, and so when we do coach people and they do want the physical fitness part, that goes to another guy. But everything else stays in house. Where now we start realizing, okay, what are some of your limiting beliefs? And we'll get all in this on our discovery calls. If you guys are interested, we can book a call with us through here. But the point is understanding that you're a complete. I use cake a lot. You can use pie, whatever, but you're a cake and all the ingredients of the cake is up to you to put in at the exact same time the recipe calls for. A woman coming in is not the cake, she's the icing on the cake. If you use salt instead of sugar, your cake is not gonna, I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's either not gonna taste good or it's not gonna rise. My girlfriend knows all that. I don't know, but it's not gonna be the recipe. So it's gonna be off. Now you're gonna add a woman on top of off cake. The whole cake's not gonna be the greatest. You have to create your cake first. The whole everything about you, you have to create. When a woman comes in, oh, I like vanilla ice cream or vanilla icing, great, put it on there. Now the cake's fucking perfect, but she enhances the cake. She can never be the cake. And so if you're living through your women, you're living through the idea of my life will be better when I have a girlfriend, you're thinking about it wrong. Your life is better now once you do the work. Your life will become better once you've done the work. Women start coming in, noticing, hey, my hypergamous nature is kicking in. I realize you're a bigger, better deal than I have. What's your name? I mean, just paraphrasing. Now she comes in and she can enhance your life, but she can't enhance your life if you don't have a life, if it's not complete. It doesn't work that way. And this is why a lot of relationships fail. It's why marriages fail. Everyone's codependent on each other. Getting to the gym can only be you underneath that bar. Your girlfriend can't lift the weight for you. Your wife can't lift the weight. Your buddy can't lift the weight. Only you and that fucking weight. That's it. Only you can be underneath the squat rack. Only you can squat the thing
Yeah.
up. That's it. Understand that. Appreciate how simple lifting something up and putting it down can make such an impact on your life. Once you get this and you're like, God, Jared, yep, I get it. 6 weeks. That's it. Consistently see for 6 weeks, you'd be like, fuck, I understand this. Where has this been all my life? You will understand this.
If you can stick
I
it out for six
promise you.
weeks, I
Yeah.
promise you, you stick it out for 6 weeks, you get into the gym at least 3, 4 days every week
Mhm.
for 6 weeks, you won't stop.
No.
You won't stop. It'll be hard to stop you. Like, I mean, some things can trip you up for sure, but like, you're going to have that motivation and that drive to want to go. to want to get back on track. Maybe you go on vacation, you're out of it for a couple days. That's fine. Come back, get right on top of it, try and stay in that routine. That's all this is. Once you build the routine just flows. Like your brain just wants to do what it always does. And so if you change it to working out, you go to the gym 4 days a week, eventually that's status quo. Like it'll be hard to break that. And so it's hard right now when you're just starting out. But dude, like you don't have to kill yourself. Like just get there for 20 minutes. Like just go for 20 minutes today. Go for 20 minutes tomorrow. Go for 20 minutes the next day. And then get into next week. Go for 30 minutes. Go for 40 minutes. Like just try and build up as you go. Don't try and do a whole workout right away. Just get to a point like, okay, I'm just doing some pull exercises, just doing some pushing. That's okay. I'm just working out chest. I'm just working out shoulders. That's fine. Then get to a point where you start breaking down those workouts. Maybe start looking for a fitness coach who can help you with the plateauing, who can help you with specific workouts throughout the week. But don't try and get into that right away, because if you start with that, that's going to keep you from doing it. Just get in there and go lift some dumbbells, man. Just go lift some dumbbells today. Go lift some dumbbells tomorrow. Maybe try the bench the next day and leave it at that. You don't really need to do too much. Just build the habit. That's all you're focused on at first.
Yep. Yeah. That's it. It's not hard. Like I said, a lot of people ask, what do I do for this? What do I do for that? And it's the same answer. It's just consistency over a long period of time will get you results. It's not might get you results. It has to get you results, but you have to do the work. And it's really up to you guys. My whole purpose for creating this channel, Chase and I's purpose, is to take whatever deficiency you're in. If you notice it's a deficiency and you don't want it to be, then reach out and book a call with us. We'll talk about that. There's probably some other ideas or beliefs you have that justify that deficiency, so we will work through that. But getting to the gym can fix, without therapy, without talking about your feelings, fucking getting to the gym can cure about 90% of the crap that's out there. I firmly believe it. Of course, I make money off helping you guys and working with you, but I'm not here to rob you. Go to the gym. Have a bad day, go to the gym. Have a good day, go to the gym. Have a great day, go to the gym. Go to the gym. Fucking ain't hard.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
You'll always be happy. There's never been a time when I'm like, I need to go to the gym, and I came out and said, oh, I wish I wouldn't have gone to the gym. I regret that. Every freaking time I just do it and go, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I went. I'm so glad I just decided to go. Every time. I'll tell you, every time I don't go, when I want to go, but I decide not to, I regret that.
Sure.
Every time. I do. I regret it every time. I'm like, I should have just gone. I should have just made it work. I should have just done the 20 minutes. Dude, on Monday, I went to go pay my power bill, and I had to hurry over to my dad's house to help him with a call he was getting on. And I remember I had 30 minutes. I'm like, I could do it. I could do it in 30 minutes. I did. I went and stopped by that gym. I went for 30 minutes, and I went to his house. I'm like, I didn't care. It was only 30. I could have told myself, okay, you've only got 30 minutes. No, dude, I went 30 minutes, did a couple machines, went back. I just did it. It was cool. And I'm like, dude, I'm glad I did that. Every time. That's how it goes.
You need to do. That's all you need to do. So once you guys get into this habit, you will get results. It's not a maybe. It's not a it will happen. You have to give it enough time under tension, enough consistency, and it'll happen. And that is really the only hack that you have for power dynamics. Now, I can give you tons of hacks and everything else, but that perception of power, the bigger you are, the more lean you are, the better you look, you're already perceived to have more power than the guy next to you who isn't as big as you are, who isn't as lean. That's a hack. So if a girl's looking at you and maybe this guy's a little bit better looking than you, but you're bigger than him and you look better, I'm pretty, I'm going to do a 90-10 on that. She'll probably be more interested in you because you take up more space than this guy. It's just the way it works. It's the hack that you guys can use. I want you to use the hack, and I want you guys to have an amazing weekend. That's all we got on this. If you do have any questions specific about this, or you are looking to start maybe a workout routine and you're not exactly sure where to start, you can book a call with us. It is going to go to somebody else, but we will help you get on his program. We'll still be with you, but it is a whole different program. And we should probably get him on at some point too, and maybe just talk about
Yeah,
what
yeah,
he
yeah.
does.
I mean, one
Um,
thing I've got to tell you guys, I've spent the last year building an app, a custom app for our program where we can give you all of the discussion topics we need to, where we can give you specific workouts assigned to you, where we can give you nutrition, an AI coach, all that stuff that's already drummed up with all this stuff too. I can tell you right now, I've been working on a solid year on this app. And his whole program is in this, and our whole program is in this. We can take on any other coaches into this too if they want to have a place where they have their whole program in one place where you can do all your habit tracking, you can get your workouts, you can update your weight, all that stuff. It's all in one place, and you can see your results in real time. Like I said, this guy's in the same app, so you don't have to go anywhere else. Like he'll be your coach, but it's all in the same app. You're all going to get the same program in the same place. And so if that sounds interesting to you, if you want to start tracking your habits, you want to see your results in real time, and you want to talk about these social dynamics every single week. Maybe you're struggling with something, you want help with something, you want something answered. Maybe there's something you want to get your wife to do or your girlfriend to do, something you'd like to see more of in your life. Maybe you're trying to make a side income and you're trying to figure out exactly which direction to go in. This is all stuff we help with. And so if there's anything you guys need at all, let us know. If there's any topics you guys want us to cover, let us know. If you guys want to jump on one of these calls and talk about your stuff specifically, it's personal to you, it's completely private, let us know. We'll get you guys on one of those calls.
Absolutely. Have a good weekend, guys. Thanks. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but we're here for you. Let us know if you have any questions and have a great weekend.
Absolutely. Have a